Hey everyone, welcome to the stream after party for Angular V13 release. And today we have like a really big team with us. We have Vijay joining us, Michael, Anand, Jay, and Aditya. So, hey everyone, welcome to the show.
Hey,
Oh,
So, who is really excited for V13 release? Okay,
all of it.
Michael. Hey, one second, I think Mohammed is here. Hey, Mohammed,
hey, how are you?
Yeah. Hi. So we just went live. So yeah, we will let's go ahead and have a round of introduction, and then we'll start with like what's new in V13, sorry, and then we'll talk about all the latest features, what is new in Angular CLI, Angular or Angular materials. So yep, who wants to go first? I think let me see who is next to my screen. Vijay, you want to go and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Vijay Gopal. I work as a UI architect in Caterpillar and pretty much on the front end side of stuff. And I work along with Santosh. Santosh is my teammate, and happy to have him on board. And yeah, and every Angular interest is what pulls me here.
Michael.
Yeah, hi. I work as an front-end architect with Angular, and I've worked full stack for a long time, but now I finally only work with front-end. I have been blogging a little bit, and I'm also part of the organizers of NG Vikings.
And Michael loves Java. Anand.
Hey guys, hi. This is Anand. I'm one of the founding UI engineers at a Series A startup. It's called Traceable AI. I'm not sure you guys have heard about it yet. So we primarily use Angular, and I'm one of the work as an Angular architect here. And I have been working in front end for around 7 or 8 years now, and just starting to get more active in the open source community, trying to write blogs and learning from all of you guys. And you guys are doing a great job. So yeah.
Who's next? Jay.
Awesome, thanks. My name is Jay Bell. I'm the CTO and co-founder of a social enterprise here in Canada that's building software for charities. We use Angular for all of our apps, and I've been a longtime fan since I think we started with Angular 4. I remember going through the Rxjs upgrade with pipeable operators, and that was interesting to go through that upgrade at the same time as learning Rxjs, as you could all imagine. So I'm really excited with the improvements Angular's made in the recent years.
Who's next? Adit.
So hey all, my name is Aditya, and I work as a front-end engineer at Hypersonic. We are a business intelligence startup, and I've been working with Angular for like 3 years. That is, I actually started my journey with Angular, and I used to write blogs around Angular, and also create some side projects again with Angular, and I love working with Node.js as well. So yeah.
Who's next? Mohammed.
Yes. So, hello guys. This is me, Mohammad Awais. I'm a senior software engineer working at Royal Cyber. Royal Cyber is kind of a huge company working throughout like in India and other countries as well. So yeah, my experience is like I'm working on Angular since around 6 years, 6+ years. So I also started my journey with Angular first with the Typescript kind of stuff. So I will say like Angular is my first love. So yeah, still like working on it and contributing to the library. So my recent collaboration is with NGRX. So the inspiration is like Santosh Bhai, and so yeah, this is how I'm going on. I'm writing a tech blogs on TypeScript and Angular kind of thing. So yeah.
Nice. So let's go ahead and talk about the some new things which is introduced in Angular 13. So some things which is new, something which is removed. So let's talk about I11. So I11 is not supported anymore. So who thinks, I mean, this is a good choice? And if there is anyone who still thinks, okay, we should actually delay it.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice to remove it. I never had to support it. Luckily, I was never in one of those, enterprise organizations where it was like the customers refused to use anything but IE 11. So I count myself one of the lucky ones, but I did read over the whole RFC that the Angular team put out about removing IE 11. It seemed like there were at least a couple people that still were required to support it. So hopefully they can move off it soon.
Now, who is using Angular 11? What about you, Michael? How is things at your end? Still supporting i11?
No, I'm working at a new project, so I don't have to. But at my last job, we did have to support it for a while. So I think it's a great choice because now we have a good reason to. We can just say that Angular doesn't support it. Sorry.
I mean, of course, it was discontinued in previous version. Now they have just removed it. So it was deprecated, right, in the Angular 12 release. But I mean, there was a way you can actually still use it. How about you, Anand? I mean, are you still supporting i11 in your applications, or how is it?
Yeah, so not really. One of the advantage of working in a startup, like you can ignore, all these legacy browsers. But actually, to be honest, like this decision was backed by data as well. We have used a user telemetry platform, and we get to see that who all our users are, and what browsers they are using, right? And we don't see IE at all. The browsers that we see is Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. So we don't have any data backing it. Like if we see that there are some users who is using IE, then we may have looked into it, writing test cases for it, ensuring that it works properly. But there is no need now, so we are off the hook.
What about you, Vijay? Still supporting any applications with i11? Oh,
we dropped
okay.
We dropped it in previous versions, right? And it was a struggle. Like unlike others, we are like an older organization, bigger enterprise, and especially there would be like customers who would work in legacy systems, and their OSs they don't want to upgrade. So it was a hard thing, but eventually we grew out of it, and our components and other things. So that was another thing. So we maintain a component library. So once we said we won't support it, other applications automatically stop their support as well. So
Nice.
that was because of Angular. Again, we said Angular is not supporting, we won't support it. And other applications were happy because of us. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can just say, okay, we are not supporting it. The applications are like, they are not supporting it.
Right.
And we can say Angular is not supporting it. So we can just pass. Yeah. What about you, Mohammed? Are you still supporting i11 with any application, or is it like totally?
Actually, yeah, I support the Anand point of view. So we at Royal Cyber we are also using Google Analytics and Lighthouse kind of thing. So as far as the metrics come up throughout the cycle of testing and the user journey, so we don't get any updates like no matrices coming for the IEE. Yeah, so that's actually we are not supporting as well.
Oh, nice. How about you, Adi?
In my company, we used to support it a few months back, but we actually decided that since as Anand and Mohammed said, the number of users that we're using is very, very low. And so with Edge, many users migrated to Edge as well. So that is a benefit for us. So we actually dropped the support, and then now I think it is Chrome, Firefox, and mainly Safari and Edge. So yeah, so this is not a big what do you say update because we are not taking care of that. But the people who still have to support it, I think it is always a struggle to get around. Be it with CSS or JavaScript, it's always a pain.
Yeah, I know. So we actually there was an application where we had to support it. So I think Microsoft has some workaround, right? So what you can do is you can just deploy your application, and then you can ask that you want backward compatibility, and they will redirect it for you. So that's the correct way. In case you want to still continue go ahead and support i11, you don't have to take care of anything. I mean, you can just ask Microsoft support, and the only thing which you have to do is, of course, go ahead and deploy it somewhere. So that's one thing which I think you can do in case you need to still support i11. because we have one endpoint where we needed that particular thing. So we created a small application with that API or that entry point or URL, and then that's it. What else? So we have faster production builds as well. So anyone who recently migrated to Angular 13 and can see improvements in production builds.
I
So
was actually
I have not.
looking into it, but
Uh-huh.
go ahead, Aman.
Go ahead, Mohammed.
Okay, so I was saying like I was just migrating the my pet project, so it's by like to be by the live version. I didn't took work around, like didn't make sure like how fastify it. But as far as the articles and the content set, so there's kind of a difference. So I have already saw that. So yeah.
I mean, so you can see some difference, or it is like there was no difference, or improvement,
Like
little bit improvement.
yeah, it's kind of little bit improvement, because to be very honest, the pet project is not kind of 100,000 of components, so
Yeah.
there's maybe
Uh,
that kind of stuff I didn't acknowledge, but there is a difference.
okay. Okay. Yeah. You were saying something.
Yeah, so like since V12, we had enabled the persistent build cache,
Uh-huh.
and we did see some improvements on that. So we have not migrated to V13 first yet, because I think there would be a lot of work, especially with the Rxjs 7 migration. So we have not done it yet, but yeah, looking forward to it. And with respect to performance, I think enabling the build cache did help a little bit.
Yeah, but if I'm not wrong, that's persistent build cache is for your local environment, right? It's not for CI, is
It's
it?
not, it's not a good idea for CI.
So I mean, I know we are actually using it in one of the application. I mean, yeah, I can see some improvement on local builds. I mean, but CI remains same because of the huge size of the application.
Right. And
Anyone else who
I
tried?
think I think if you enable it on CI, it will just slow it down a little bit.
Actually, what about you, Jay, Michael? Anyone tried that persistent build cache?
We haven't upgraded to 13 yet, just because we're in the middle of I have a deadline like literally tomorrow, so I don't want to be making any major changes. I know the upgrade process is like the Angular team always makes it so easy to do, and there almost nothing goes wrong most of the time, but I don't really want to like not hit the deadline because of it. So I'm hoping to do it in the next couple of weeks at some point. But I've heard really good things about the build time improvements.
Okay, so did you enable this persistent build cache by any chance on Angular 12?
I think we had it on I tried it, and I didn't notice like a huge difference, to be honest. But there was a bit of a difference. I just didn't turn it on for the whole team quite yet.
What about you, Michael? I mean, I'm sure most of you are already using NX. That might be the reason that no one enabled it.
Yeah, we are waiting for NX until I have upgraded to Rxjs 7 already, so it was not too much work.
Oh, okay, but there are a few things which is deprecated, right, and or removed. So
Yeah,
how you managed to?
Yeah, but we didn't use too many of those. So, but if
Okay.
we still have a quite small system but if you have a lot of them, it might take some time.
Okay, because if I'm not wrong, there is no schematic this time to migrate from Rxjs 6 to 7. I remember that it was there when the last time Rxjs had a big difference. I mean, Rxjs 5, it was it. So there was some actually community schematic was there, which actually took care of all the thing.
Yeah, I did it manually, so I didn't see any schematics.
Okay.
Maybe they will come with NX, but I didn't want to wait.
Right.
Are there many breaking changes between 6 and 7?
Not many. I don't think so.
No, not too
Not
many.
many.
I know the one that I saw was like some weirdness with subjects and their generic, but that was the only thing that I've seen. Unless I'm thinking of 5 to 6, maybe I am. I'm not sure anymore.
Second is there. So now actually with Angular V3, Angular team is saying you don't need to use NGCC anymore. So who is thinking about that? How it will help and how soon we can actually move out from NGCC?
I think if you're a developer of an open source package for Angular, you should go and update your package as soon as possible because it'll only make it better for everybody else.
But it is hard, right? I mean, so I have to like probably the one thing which I have seen is in case you use the partial compilation mode, which I'm sure not all the or most of the libraries are doing right now as of today. They're not using partial compilation mode, and once you enable it, it cannot be used like backward compatible. I mean, big packages are fine. Like for example, NGRX, which always says, okay, if you're using Angular 13, you should use NGRX 13. But there are packages which says, okay, I am supporting all the previous versions, and that will be an issue because once you move to partial compilation mode, you cannot support anything below Angular 13. Yeah, or
I think
Angular
this
12.
is actually a very big change because even there are a lot of if the project relies on a lot of packages and like even when we are upgrading from let's say 11 to 12 or 12 to 13, I think we faced a major issue when we actually upgraded from 9 where the IV kicked in, right? So at that time,
Yeah.
a lot of packages were not supporting, and then we had to remove them and substitute with other packages or create our own packages. So if the project is relying on too much packages, I think definitely it will take time because library authors, if it is an active library, definitely they'll come up with the latest format. But other than that, I think it might take time.
Yeah, actually. So I think this is your chance in case anyone who wants to actually get involved in open source. I think this is your chance. Just go ahead and help. There are a lot of libraries, I'm sure, which needs help. So you can actually help them test those libraries and go ahead and update it to like new Angular package format. This is what the team is calling it, if I'm not wrong. Angular package format. Yeah, Angular package format. So you can just go ahead and test and see if it works or not. And you can also just update the README as well that it won't be supported like below Angular 12.
That's kind of interesting.
And the advantage is you don't have to use NGCC anymore. What about your own applications? And anyone who wants to add? I mean, do you think you will be able to actually move entire libraries where like you have huge libraries and then you would be able to convince all the teams that we won't be supporting, let's say, Angular 10 or 11, because it happens, right? In case you have really consuming applications where you are just taking care of the library part, it is always harder to convince them to upgrade at the first step. So what do you think? Anyone who wants to add something?
So in my company, as I told, right, like we had a huge migration that was pre-IV to IV. So now we are in version 11. So from 11 to 13, I don't think there is much differences that we have to take care of because that IV migration took care of a lot of package related issues where a lot of packages were causing trouble because they were not ready for IV yet. So since we have already passed that version where the IV kicked in, I think we should be able to migrate to 13. But again, regarding the packages, we have a lot of packages, and I don't think some of them are not very actively maintained. So I think that packages upgrading them would be a difficult task if you are going to completely get rid of NGC.
So you have some consuming apps which are like still using Angular 9 or 10 or 11.
It's Angular 11.
Okay, so I think that will be challenge, right, to convince to them that okay, you need to migrate to Angular 13.
Yeah.
Or Angular 12.
Yeah.
What about you, Vijay?
Maybe at once we reach Angular 14, that's the time it could be possible. I think with convincing all the teams would be very hard. At least we have to support 2 versions in our organization. So that's something that I think at 14 we'll be able to do it.
Okay. Anyone else? Jay, Michael, anything which you have?
We have one package that is on Angular 8 that I'm a little bit worried about, but I'm thinking about just maybe skipping that, trying to find something else.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't actually know what I know like some of the packages that I maintain myself, I've been trying to keep upgraded. And I think they're all published with the Ivy partial compilation already. I believe I did that during V12. So just because they're all like, they haven't even really reached version 1 yet anyway. So if I break someone's, I'm sorry, but I just can't manage multiple Angular versions right now, and I want to kind of drive the environment forward to get everybody to upgrade if they can. So, sorry if I broke your stuff.
Yeah, that's always a pain, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
people think that okay, your library should be better, but once you have to actually go ahead and tell them that you should also upgrade, they will be like, "Why should I upgrade? You upgrade," and then make it backward compatible.
Yeah.
That's like funny thing. It's okay. Okay, so let's. Okay, I think these are the things which are removed or new, which is added. But apart from that, there are some forms improvement which I have seen in the release note. So, what do you think? I mean, by which version we will get like typed forms?
Before that, regarding the partial compilation, right? Like,
Yeah.
when do you think Angular material is gonna get that? Or are they already publishing in that format? Or
I think they might be already doing that, right? Because if it is material 13, I mean, it is already compatible, right? It is already. I mean, so I don't think they use Angular CLI, so they use Bazel. So I think so. They don't have to worry about it. I mean, everything's taken care by those.
okay, cool.
So yeah, coming back forms. It's like big project which is uh, anyone knows when actually the first issue was raised to make forms typed. Any idea?
Couple of years back.
3 years,
I
maybe?
saw, I saw it when actually Angular 4 was released, so back in 2017, and then it was pushed back. Type so Lars says typed forms probably V14. I doubt. I mean, still, I mean, probably it will be like, as per the team, it will be like a lot of breaking changes. But let's hope we get it by V14. But I doubt. I mean, probably maybe it can be like something opt-in or something. But let's see. So, but because it was like pushed for a long time, then due to IV and then other issues because it will be a breaking change, and now we have like it's in progress. Yeah, it's in progress. So anyone else has their thoughts on type forms?
I think everybody would love it. That is for
Uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah.
But
And,
given that they are also working on standalone components,
uh-huh.
and these two will be like two big features, right? So taking
Mhm.
both of them together, like we have to see whether they'll be able to, get it done
Yeah,
by
but
14.
yeah, maybe because Vue engine is removed now, so they have like less code to manage now, right? So because earlier there was a problem that you have Vue engine, then IV, and then you have to take care of both while like adding new features. Now they have just IV, so they don't have to worry about the Vue engine anymore. Vue engine, right? Vue engine is gone now, so I'm not sure if it affects anyone because probably everyone is using IV nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this was just the code base inside the like repository. I think it was not just
Yeah.
anything which was helping anyone. Let's see.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm, but yeah, in past they released few changes. I'm sure most of I have seen like a lot of libraries are actually using something from Nginx. I think they have one library for typed forms, if I'm not wrong, and there is one other library as well, which is used widely for typed forms. But if it becomes native, I think that will be really good, right? Anyone knows any other library which you are using for type forms? Oh, good. No problem. And then I also saw that there were some changes where now you have to like just single line of single line of code, that resolver factory is removed, and you can just dynamically load components, dynamically create components. Sorry, so that is also a good thing. I think less number of code to manage. So yeah, resolve component factory. I think that is removed. You don't have to do that anymore. If you're using that, yeah.
I mean, it also makes it much easy to people who are just coming into this dynamic component creation and concepts like that. When I saw this first time, the component factory resolver, that is, it just sounded very complex. Now that is completely removed, we have a very simple API that makes sense. But with that resolve component factory, it doesn't make sense for a beginner. Like when you see that, if you feel intimidated by that, I think this is also a really good change.
Yeah, I think a really good point, because when I started learning about Angular and I saw that code, I was like, okay, let's move it aside. Let's leave it as of now. And I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, how many people have to actually write that code, because I never did that. I mean, in my real time application, because doing something dynamic is something probably most of the time you don't do it, right? Or probably you're using some other third party library, or you already have some util function to actually do that for you. So you don't have to actually every day go ahead and write that code to dynamically load component. What else we have? So I think material design, material component have some accessibility improvements. Any testing improvements? Anyone knows?
Yeah, so I think they have introduced this new property, right? Destroy after each block.
Tear down.
Destroy after each
Tear,
test. Yeah.
Tear down options.
So yeah, and I think Lars did some POC around it. He published a blog with a lot of details. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good change. Although I think we need to have like more data around the performance impact, like how, like whether it improves the performance or negatively affects it. And also a lot of people use jest, right? And
Right.
as far as I understand, this property will be useful for a test that uses real DOM, right? So jest might not. I'm not sure how much improvement we will see on jest, but I think on karma, like I think it will definitely be useful. It should be useful, but we need data to back that. Yeah.
Okay. I think the article from Lars was really great. I mean, he wrote more than 100 tests actually to give some stats around it. But as you are saying, on just it may differ.
Yep.
I mean, anyone else who tried this option, tear down option?
No.
I just tried it today.
With
just and you have to still see the performance numbers and see how it will reduce the timelines, right? But initially, I didn't see much of a difference. But yeah, we have to see after seeing it running for some more time.
I mean, of course, sorry, go ahead.
Especially with our case, wherein there is a lot of memory consumption in pipelines, right? When it keeps running, the test time increases, especially in a bigger project and a monorepo kind of a setup with so many apps running in parallel. So this should help, is what we believe, and especially like looking at last article, that was very insightful. So have to see more numbers on it.
Okay. I mean, so in Angular 12, it was optional. Now with Angular 13, it is default. So you don't have to do anything in case you create a new app. But in case you are migrating from Angular 12 to 13, I think you have to go ahead and add or make changes to your tests, if I'm not wrong. Anyone who tried the migration? So is it like you have to add manually, or you get it like via migrations?
I think it will be enabled by default, as far as I understand.
It's enabled for new applications. I think for in case you migrate, I think you have to go ahead and make the changes manually, because it's a breaking change as well. I think.
Okay.
It's a breaking change, so they cannot enable it for you. Cool. And what else? I mean, I think apart from that, we have just TypeScript and Rxjs. New version, which is now TypeScript 4.4, is supported. and RxJS 7.4, which is supported. But as you mentioned, RxJS doesn't have any migration this time, so you have to do it manually. And Michael also mentioned that. So Lars says it's enabled by default, but I think for new applications, right, Lars? I'm not sure. If we migrate from Angular 12 to 13, I think you have to do it manually. Is it? Let's wait for answer. And apart from that, what we have is, of course, TypeScript update, Rxjs update. Anyone knows what's new in Rxjs? I can see. I think last time I have seen there are some improvements in the bundle size. So the bundle size is like really tiny apart, and there are a few deprecations. Okay, for all. Anyone is aware of anything around
Yeah.
Rxjs?
So
Yeah.
I think as far as I understand, like they have like much better typings this time. So it's like much stricter type, and they had like some weird behavior that, for example, if you have a string subject, you can still call next without putting any data in it. So those kind of things were not cached. We were not able to catch it in advance because of bad typing. So they have ensured that this type of issue is gone, and all the other similar type of typing related issues they have fixed it. So
Yes. Okay. Wow. And I think there are some deprecations as well.
To promise is deprecated, so that's a bit interesting. I know some people who come from some other frameworks like to do to promise.
Yeah, I know. But to promise was deprecated long back, right? So they should have removed it. It was deprecated in 6, if I'm not wrong, RxJS 6.
Was it maybe?
Yeah, I think
it
so.
was.
It was deprecated in RxJS 6. So probably they might have removed it if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. Because it's a new version. So yeah, I mean, anyways, I found that okay, it was really useful when I think Angular was new, but over the period of time, I think it became a lot of. I mean, it stopped writing better code. I think somehow because people were like really too comfortable using promises. They know how promises works, and then they stopped just using RxJS operators and everything.
Also, the bundle size is almost cut by 50%. So it's
Yeah.
that should be a very good, big improvement in the bundle size.
So Gotham says less memory consumption with the new RxJS version. So let's see. I mean, not used as of now. So
I think the only one that I had to change was combine latest. That's changed to combine latest with, and that had some different API. I think.
okay.
Then I think there was a couple of more of those similar, maybe merge and merge with, maybe.
Okay. So not like really big change. You can actually do it manually. Let's hope. So yeah. So that's around RxJS. And anything else which anyone read about or heard about in Angular 13 or anything related to TypeScript?
yeah, I think so. With TypeScript, I was just reading their release notes, and they have introduced static blocks, which we kind of used to have in Java. Like we still have it in Java, but basically you can execute a piece of code under the static block. So that seems pretty useful, and I think I'm not sure how I will use it yet, but we can do a lot more, especially if we can add these type of static blocks and components, we can definitely do a lot more over there. So yeah, I find that pretty interesting.
Okay, I have to read about it. I mean, to be frank, I mean, I have not used RxJS at that advanced level in Angular. Most of the time, I think it works, right? I mean, you can just work with simple stuff as well. So Lars says RxJS operators to RxJS namespace. So it means there is nothing called RxJS/operators now. So you can just do everything from RxJS.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, that is also very interesting because most of the times we'll, it can be hard to find where to import it from unless you have not used it before. But now we don't have to worry. We can just import everything from RxJS.
So okay, then we have to also remove that. I mean, there was a rule, right? So block imports where we block Rxjs. Do not import everything from Rxjs. That's nice. Okay. So okay, I think this is getting changed for the third time, if I'm not wrong. So earlier operators were imported from somewhere other place, right? And then now back to Rxjs. It's interesting. Let's see. And it will not impact bundle size. So that's really cool. I mean, great. I think there's optional chaining, but optional chaining is already available. I think what is this? Oh, so they have made some changes to this optional
Language
chaining
service.
is language service. Yeah. Okay. I think language service is really great. I mean,
But I think optional training is also there's available in V12 as well, right? If I'm not wrong.
which optional chaining was available. Now it is actually supported by language service. So it will
Okay.
help you autocomplete. That's the
Okay. Okay.
change.
Okay. Okay.
It basically automatically adds
Yeah.
the optional chaining for you
Uh,
in the
Okay.
so you
HTML.
don't have to.
We don't have to explicitly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's really good change.
That should be helpful. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it. I think we covered all the features which we have. So one by one, which is your favorite feature in this particular release? Adi, you want to go first? We'll start from Adi and then we'll come back.
For me, I think the RxJS 7 that is a good thing because we have the bundle size improvements that you can see, and then second one is create component. So these two basically.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Yeah, I think for me it would be Rxjs 7 and TypeScript. And I'm looking forward to using it in the code. Others, I think it's like pretty standard, and they're pretty useful. But I think one other things I would be interested in to see is like how the build performance has improved with V13. If there is any difference from V12. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah. There is a difference, Anand. You will surely see.
What about you, Mohammed? Which is your favorite one?
My favorite one is kind of a create component. The first one, and the second one, to be very honest, I love the one thing which Angular provides for their next releases. They are kind of minimizing the bundle size, so that's kind of very interesting thing for me for every time. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Michael.
I'm mostly looking forward to the build performance. So hopefully a next update soon. And also I'm interested in this accessibility improvement in the material components. So I'm probably going to try them out, see how they are.
Awesome. PJ?
Yeah, for me it is that tap down option, because that's the biggest pain that we have in terms of testing. So if that comes as default, we don't have to do any migration, and that's this one. And then anything to do with build performance, again the CI stuff, right? And data FNS, yeah, that's Lars has also pointed that is something that I saw in the changelog, because there is always hesitancy to move away from moment, because they have to write the code. With this being there, that could share off at least 100 KB to 1 MB depending on your project usage.
Cool. So data FNS adapter. That's a really good thing. I mean, finally we have data FNS adapter thing. So I think for me personally, I think I'm really happy that I can remove NGCC. And so you know how many hours are actually vested. You should read this book. You should read this book so you will understand how many hours are vested
Yeah.
because of NGCC. So
Yeah.
let's hope everyone actually upgrades their packages to Angular package format, and then we can kick out NGCC for good and save
Yeah.
and actually stop this climate crisis, right? I mean, we are also responsible in some way. Cool. So yeah, I think that's it. We in case you are watching this blog, we are if you are watching this live stream, we were actually referring to this blog post, really nice blog post written by Sebastian, and we will just add it in the description of this video so you can refer it. And it has like really detailed explanation about all the new improvements, all the things which is changed, deprecated, everything is there. So yeah, we just go ahead and read this blog post. So thanks a lot again, everyone, for joining on in your time zone. I'm not sure what it is, but here in India, it's like 10 p.m. IST. So thanks a lot again for joining us.
Thanks, Santosh.
Thank you,
Thank
Santosh.
you
Thanks for having me.
Love to
Thank
see
you.
you guys.
All right.